Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video, and for this one, I'm going to be reviewing another one of my all-time favorite Disney animated films. Now, of course, number 1 being The Great Mouse Detective, number 2, Nightmare Before Christmas, number 3, Robin Hood, number 4, Zootopia, number 5, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, number 6, The Lion King, number 7, Beauty and the Beast, number 8, The Jungle Book, number 9, The Little Mermaid. Well, now, for number 10... it's Wreck-It Ralph. Oh, yes, Wreck-It Ralph. That's right, Wreck-It Ralph. What do I have to say about Wreck-It Ralph? It's great. I love it. I love Wreck-It Ralph. It's a really good, great... everything about it is amazing, you know? The story, the characters, everything just going on, you know? Of course, you know, because Ralph, you know... a bad guy and such. He basically, you know, the villain of the arcade game Fix-It Felix Jr. at Litwax, if I'm saying that right, Litwax, you know, arcade place, you know, and so like, and like, it was like a villain meeting or something, you know, and like, of course, we see a lot of familiar faces, like, you know, Bowser, Robotnik, the ghost, you know, from Pac-Man, etc. Yeah, and so, like, he kind of like says, you know, I don't want to be the bad guy anymore, and, like, their reactions, like, Bowser blows out fire, and the ghost, you know, and, like, even bringing up Turbo, which, of course, we find out later, you know. Like, even the ghost, like, says, you know, but we can't change who we are, you know. The better off your game, end your life, etc. And Zangief, one game at a time, Ralph. And that dialogue they give, you know, monologue or something, you know, I am bad, and that's good. I will never be bad, and that's good too. I think that's how it goes, but yeah, I can't remember. And so, of course, we see, of course, Game Central Station, you know. Ralph makes his way back to his, you know, his home and such. And actually, on that day is the 30th anniversary of the Fix-It Felix Jr. game. And so, like, even Ralph was I don't think was even invited. And, like, even, like, he sees Pac-Man, like, they invited Pac-Man, you know? That cherry-eating guy's not even part of the game, you know? And so, like, Ralph kind of, like, crashes the party or something, you know? And, like, Fix-It trying to keep it all cool, and yet with Big G, you know? Like, what is he doing here? And, of course, there's the cake, and, like, Ralph, he sees the figure of himself in the mud, which is chocolate, and he's like, you know, I'm not a big fan of chocolate, or something like that, you know? And, of course, a little bit of outrage and such argument between him and Big G, and, Ralph, like, says, okay, I'm gonna win a golden medal, etc. Ralph is at a bar and such. I forget the name of it's the Tavern, like, arcade game, you know? And, like, and so even, like, he stumbles upon a hero's duty soldier, kind of, like, bit of a freak out and such, like, yeah, we fight bugs and such, like, even sees, like, a bug and such on Ralph's shoulder, like, bug, and he gets knocked out. Ralph takes the armor and such, disguises himself as one, and, of course, Q*bert in this, you know, he trips over Q*bert, like, it's me, Q*bert, you know, shh, you know, and Q*bert just, like, Ralph, I think that's how he goes, like, you know, E-R-R-R, but obviously, I think what he probably says there's, like, Ralph, you know, obviously, of course, Ralph makes his way into hero's duty, the introduction of Sergeant Calhoun, yeah, I said that right, yeah, she's great, she's a good character, you know, of course, the love interest of, later on, Felix love interest, of course, like, Ralph, like, kind of screws up the game, like, you know, game over and such, you know, and, like, our mission is get the gamer up top of that tower without anything, however she says it, and so, like, Ralph just makes his way up to the tower, gets the medal, and, of course, Felix, actually, because, you know, the Fix-It Felix game is out of order, pretty much because of Ralph, he's not there, you know, and so, you know, Q*bert comes in, he alerts Felix about, you know, Ralph, and Ralph's gone turbo, and so Felix makes his way to hero's duty, That's where he and Calhoun meet, and like Ralph, he gets the medal, but he accidentally like hits one of the eggs, the Cybugs. And of course, little baby Cybug and Ralph, they enter an escape pod, it goes flying and such, and they go spinning and crashing around this Game Central Station, and they make their way into Sugar Rush, and that's where like Ralph, he meets Vanellope. Vanellope steals his medal, and that's when like Ralph, he like chases after Vanellope, and as we know, like he gets in like cream or candy and stuff, making him look like some kind of like candy monster, And what I love is when Ralph gets captured by the two donut policemen, and in a cupcake, like the Oreos, it's like Oreo, because a reference to the Wizard of Oz, obviously. Yeah, I remember seeing this in theaters. I remember, like, I think that got a good laugh there, because the Oreo. I think even my parents, they got a laugh at that too, so. Like, even we get the introduction of King Candy, of course, and Alan Tudyk, great actor, fantastic job of voice acting, and him voicing King Candy, I'm King Candy, have some candy, I can do a good impression of King Candy, Ralph, you're not going turbo, are you? And like, if I see you again in my kingdom, I'll put you in my fungeon. And so Ralph gets out of there and comes across Vanellope again, and the other racers, God, are just horrible, and breaking Vanellope's handmade go-kart, racing car, that is. Ralph scares them off, like, hey, leave her alone, ah! And Ralph and Vanellope, like, they talk and such, and that's when, like, Calhoun and Felix, they make their way into Sugar Rush, and we get a little backstory because of the word turbo being brought up, because Turbo was part of this arcade game, and like he became so jealous when another arcade came in of racing, that's when he abandoned, and as Felix says, that he became so jealous that he abandoned his game and made his way into the other arcade game, and that's when both games were out of order, and so, and anyways, and so, another funny part is they end up in Ness quicksand, if I'm saying that right, and like Calhoun calms Felix down, like, hitting him, and these vines that laugh, they come down, It's a pretty funny scene. And, like, a little bit of, like, love or romance comes in with both of them, and, like, the vines are like, la, 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 and Calhoun shoots her gun off, it's funny. And, of course, one part is that with Vanellope and Ralph, they make their way into the bakery and make their cart. And what's really cool is that with the bakery, it's like, kind of like in an arcade game. You'd make your own car or something, like choose your car, choose wheels, something like that, I've seen that. I know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you guys know what I mean too. I've seen that before, and I've played racing games before, arcade racing games before in local arcade places, etc. So, even in movie theaters, actually. So, anyway, so they get discovered, and the guard, the one at the entrance to the bakery, sleeping like cream puffs, and like, get me King Candy, the glitches in the bakery. That is John DiMaggio voicing that guard and such, at the entrance, the gate guard, is that right? Like, I think I'm right, so. Anyways, and so they get out of there, and, they make their way into, like, Vanellope's little hiding place, Ralph builds, like, a road and such, a circle, and actually inside of where Vanellope lives, the mints, and of course, as we know with mints, if you put them in, like, drinks and such, like Coke or whatever, spark up, and that's what it does, like, the mints, they, like, almost like causing, like, a volcano or something, and so, like, Ralph teaches Vanellope how to race and such, and right as they're about to go to the racing track, essentially, like, King Candy comes in, actually tells Ralph, that, because he's trying to protect Vanellope. As we know with the movie, he's lying, because we find out later. And so, like, I'm trying to protect her, if she's part of the game, and when she glitches, they'll think it's out of order. and my people and myself will become homeless, and like they make it out of there. Like they'd be the only ones to get out of the game, except for Vanellope. She died with the game, so Oh yeah, and I almost forgot to mention, because as I was saying, because like King Candy lies, like King Candy, he makes his way into like this room or something, I guess with the memory or files or something, and like what's cool is like an old NES controller is used, makes a cameo and is like the password to get inside, and even as like because in that part King Candy gets Ralph's medal back, and then like as King Candy leaves, the camera like pans, and like we see Vanellope, like something must have happened. Like obviously King Candy did that, of course. He like pretty much erased everybody's memories of Vanellope, etc. And also, Ralph, he falls for it. He falls for King Candy, what he says, and then he's like, I'm doing this for your own good, and then he pretty much just wrecks Vanellope's car. It's kind of sad there, Even Vanellope, you really are a bad guy, and she runs away. And with Calhoun and Felix, like one part, Felix brings up to Calhoun one dynamite gal, and it was also mentioned like Calhoun is programmed with the sad backstory. She lost another man of the love of her life, and at their wedding, like a side bug came in and basically ate him, and that's when like Calhoun has Felix get out of her shuttle, and that's when Calhoun goes off and finds the side bug, etc. And Felix, he ends up in the Fungeon, Ralph returns to the Felix game, and like everybody's gone except for Big G, Big Gene, G, or I can't remember, and like everybody left, and like you and Felix never came back, etc. And like Ralph, before Big Gene leaves, like, I didn't want this, and like like Big Gene, and what did you want, etc. And Ralph kind of like takes off his medal, throws it at the screen and such, and it's kind of cool because it even causes like the paper sign, out of order, kind of like the slip, the tape. And even Ralph notices and spots on the arcade of Sugar Rush a picture of Vanellope, and that causes a spark for Ralph. He makes his way back to Sugar Rush, and oh god, what's his name? The little green ball guy, like King Candy's right-hand man, I forget his name. Gumdrop, is that his name? Well, he's voiced by, I think he is voiced by the director, if I remember correctly, yeah. Rich Moore, if I'm saying his name right, yeah. So Gumdrop, it's kind of mixed, like he remembers and doesn't remember, like telling him that King Candy deleted basically like ripped off the cords from Vanellope, and kept everybody's memories of Vanellope locked up and such. And so Ralph goes off and finds Vanellope, and finds Felix first, and then they get Vanellope out of another part of the Fungeon. And yeah, I find it funny when we see her again. She's in the Fungeon, literally. Like, what, did she surrender to herself? Like, is that what she did? I guess, I don't know. We don't see it. As I said, we see her, because after she says, you really are a bad guy, she runs off and such, and then the next time we see her, she's in the Fungeon. And again, that's why I say, like, did she surrender to herself? I guess that's what she did, I don't know. But it's never established, but that's what I assume, I could be right, so. And so Vanellope's car is fixed, she gets on the track, etc. Calhoun comes in, and kind of a bit pissed at Ralph. The Cybugs emerge, and everybody gets out of there, etc. King Candy, he's kind of a bit crazy, he's almost trying to kill Vanellope, and that's when he's revealed to be Turbo, I am Turbo, the greatest racer ever, Turbo-tastic, die, Glitch. And then, Vanellope gets out of there, and Turbo / King Candy comes straight towards a Cybug, and it makes you think, oh my gosh, he's killed and been eaten alive. But that's when, Ralph, as they make their way to the exit of Sugar Rush, Vanellope just still can't get out. And that's when Ralph has an idea. He goes to where the volcano and such, and like smashes and causes, trying to get all the mints to explode. That's when Turbo comes in, half him, half Cybug, and because of you, Ralph, I am now the ultimate virus, etc. And that's when, he grabs him, they go up in the air, and that's when, Ralph lets go, and, I'm bad, and that's good. He looks at his medal, and that's when biggest smash, and that's when all the mints go down the volcano and causes a big explosion. Vanellope saves Ralph, and because of the light and such of the explosion and mint explosion, the Cybugs fall for it, the light and such, they go to it. It even happens with King Candy / Turbo, and that's crazy, and you hear a little bit of organ music. That's dark, And of course, King Candy defeated, of course, King Candy / Turbo. And, they land in chocolate, Ralph and Vanellope, and, I love chocolate! He now admits he loves chocolate. Felix, he jumps up, kisses Calhoun on the cheek. She grabs him, then they kiss and such. Funny. Cards show up, it's funny. And that's when the entire racetrack is rebuilt. They get the characters of Sugar Rush, get their memories back, etc. And turns out Vanellope was basically the queen. And that's when everything is back to normal, happy ending and such. And yeah. Wreck-It Ralph, it's a great movie. It's a great Disney animated feature film. It's really good. And even with the characters, some familiar video game characters appearing, of course, with, as I said, Bowser, Robotnik, and Sonic the Hedgehog. I almost forgot to mention him. He appears a couple of times in the film, of course. And of course, at the end of the film, of course, Felix and Calhoun, they get married, so, good for them. And the end credits are really cool, because, Ralph and Vanellope, they go for each in different games. And the song at the end of the film, When Can I See You Again? It's a good song, definitely. Just Wreck-It Ralph, it's a great movie, I love it, and for Wreck-It Ralph, I give it, 10 out of 10 stars, obviously, because it's a really great Disney animated feature. I love it, and for it being my number 10 favorite Disney animated feature. And you guys let me know what you think of Wreck-It Ralph. Leave some comments down below, So again, 10 out of 10 stars for Wreck-It Ralph. I hope you guys enjoyed this review video. More new review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / review video. Take care, and peace out.